And it very much, I think, both fitness and business is all about failing your way forward. Like, and I think you can kind of, it almost gets glamorized, I think, like failing and making mistakes, but then it still feels crap at the time. Like, if you like fall short or you can't pay your supplier or you don't have enough for your tax bill or whatever it is, still feels terrible at the time, but it is just that over and over again, isn't it? And it's the same with mountain biking. It's falling off and then getting back up and trying again and falling off and getting back up, or not being able to clean the climb. And the same for like workouts. It's everything, isn't it? You do kind of fail your way forward.
It's crazy. I mean, just look at like obviously with COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, we were chatting about it before, but on a business level.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that, but
I had everything shut down.
Yeah.
So I had all my businesses shut down, and it's like, yeah, but you got grants. It's like,
yeah, they barely scratched the sides, I imagine.
Exactly. They barely scratched the sides. Luckily, we had customers that still paid. But I mean, I think it was in the first 2 to 4 weeks, they said that like if you're working outdoors, you can go back to work.
Yeah.
I went back on the building sites, and I carried on building for 18 months, 2 years. I had all my businesses, but I still went back to a building site.
Yeah.
I found a way. It was tough. Trying to run businesses while you're laying blocks isn't exactly ideal. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. But I didn't give up, and we came out fighting because of it and came out stronger.
Yeah.
And while we were doing that, I completely revamped the gyms. So it's like, I was in till 3 a.m. doing that. But that's what pushes you ahead. It's that resilience to push through those hard times, to be like, right, you've backed me in a corner.
Yeah.
I'm coming out swinging.
Yeah.
Not, I'm just going to take the punches.
Yeah. And I think if anything, you almost thrive on that, don't you? I think if you, definitely as a business owner, like I think you thrive on that adversity, don't you? And you love, like, if someone says, I do anyway, I love the fact that I've had people. I had a friend who was like my best friend through secondary school, and it was when I was very first setting up MTB Fitness. So I was a PT setting up MTB Fitness, and he moved down south, decided to become a copper, and I met him for a coffee. And the past kind of 2 times I'd seen him over 3 months, he was like making digs and like little sly comments. And I remember the very last time I saw him, so I just decided I'm not going to see you again after this. And we were sat having a coffee, and he was like, "Oh, when are you going to pack in that silly little business that you're trying anyway?" And ironically, at the time, I was already earning more as a PT than he was as a copper. He didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, like, when are you going to pack it in anyway? It's just stupid, that, innit? And at that moment, I was like, I'm never going to speak to you ever again. And I didn't.
Yeah.
But I think like people saying things like that, you've got to have it in you, I think, but you can use that as so much motivation, because a lot of the time you don't want to do the things that you're doing. Like some of the stuff, sitting down doing a podcast like this is great. Like this is just fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that you do in business isn't fun. Like working out all your finances and doing your taxes and all of like the sitting replying to 100 emails and stuff. You've just got to do it. And I think in those moments, the dark stuff motivates you way more than the dream of the Ferrari or whatever the vision of winning is. I think pain motivates you far more than pleasure.
Yeah. And you're right. The thing is, as well as with it all, it's the failures.
Yeah.
That's everybody's learning point. So, like little Timmy don't learn that the kettle's hot until he touches the kettle. Like you can tell him as much as you want. It's the same with everything, with business and with life. It's like, you just got to not be afraid to fail. You know what I mean? Just give it a go. You're going to fail. It's pretty much the only guarantee in life is that you'll fail at some stuff.
Yeah.
But you'll learn what went wrong. And then that's how you get better.
Yeah.
And it happens so much in like the sport we do in CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like and again, I don't think social media's helped that, because people only put the good stuff on.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
people see everyone and they're like, oh, but they're managing to do this and they've only been doing CrossFit this long. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like genuine, like this is a hobby.
Yeah.
Like it's not paying your mortgage. Stop stressing so much about it. Like just chill, enjoy the process, enjoy what you're doing. It'll be the same with mountain biking.
Yeah.
It's like, just enjoy it.
Yeah. The thing is as well, I think with social media is that you're right in that you only see the best of someone. But then as well, you only need to follow 100 pro mountain bikers, or in your world, 100 pro CrossFit athletes. But then if they're posting 2 or 3 times a day, you can scroll on Instagram for 2 hours a day and only see the best in the world at something.
Yeah.
And that gives you a very warped perception of what 99.9% of people are like. Because the vast majority are just normal people with jobs riding on a weekend or doing CrossFit on a, every day, whatever. And I think when you scroll, you can see only the very successful. And it's the same with like the Lamborghinis and Ferraris and all that. You can see the 20-year-old. You only need to follow 30 20-year-olds who are driving Lamborghinis. You don't know that they've got a rich dad. Like, there absolutely will be some who've made it themselves, but you don't know the background of a lot of people. But I think it can give you a very warped perception. And that's the same for fitness. Like, how many people in this gym who come to this gym look like the fitness model that you see on the front of Men's Health? It's a tiny fraction, isn't it? The people who come and do your classes, but still incredibly fit. It's just the vast majority of us are never going to look like Thor.